The Non-Experts podcast was made possible by KCLC and Lindenwood University.
However, the opinions expressed on this show do not reflect those of the university. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/nonexpertspodcast.
They have over 180,000 titles to choose from for your smartphone, tablet, or Kindle. That's audibletrial.com/nonexpertspodcast.
Welcome to the 100th season of the National Football League. Tonight is not about the league, it's about football.
I didn't really like the name Kendall until I turned 16, and then I realized it was very unique, and I liked how unique it was.
I would probably wear this jacket on my way to have tea with crumpets on a beautiful Monday morning.
I'm Romero.
And I'm Chris.
And we're the non-experts.
We're not therapists.
Or lawyers.
Or firefighters.
We don't have any licenses or degrees.
So join us as we talk about news and pop culture and say whatever we want.
Because we're the non-experts. Alrighty, so Chris, I am sure that you, like many people,
we're just kicking it off?
We're just going to jump into it.
Okay.
We're getting straight to it today, the nitty-gritty.
I like it. Okay.
This past weekend, Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
I'm sure you watched it, as many people did.
Yeah.
Although the ratings say otherwise. How'd you feel about it?
It was boring.
Mm-hmm. Do tell.
The first half went by really quickly, and before I knew it, Maroon 5 was disappointing me as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it was boring because we all knew who was going to win, not the Rams. Every time they showed Stan Kroenke up in his box, my parents and me were just like, "I'm gonna kill
that
you.
guy.
I'm gonna kill you." Yeah, not really, but
yeah, that's a threat. No, I see it, and the more I thought about it, I've seen it from two perspectives. In one perspective, very boring. It's a championship game, the last taste of football we have until the season starts back up, and for it to be 0-0 for so long, then it's 3-0, then it's finally 3-3. The most exciting play of the game was like a record-breaking kick. It was like, oh my God, where's the offense? Can somebody throw something? And then Brady finally throws one, and of course part of you was like, yes, finally a touchdown. But then at the same time, you're like, dang it.
yeah,
Of course he scored it.
right.
But at the same time, some people that like sports really do like the defensive aspect of it. So if you're a football aficionado and you really like defense played, then you probably really loved it because it was a defensive showcase, absolutely. But for the casual fan, just pops in for the Super Bowl, not really a big football person. You just want to watch the Super Bowl. It's the big game, whole bunch of commercials, get together with family. Man, was it awful for that. For that alone, God, it was awful. Halftime, I like Maroon 5 a lot. I like Travis Scott a lot. For me, why have Travis Scott there to do one song?
Yeah, it was kind of pointless.
And then he just disappeared into
especially
the black.
since there's no connection between Maroon 5 and Travis Scott. I think it was just the fact that song was so popular.
Right. And the only connection they had going on that night was that Adam Levine had on a pair of Travis Scott's Jordan collab. That's it. That's it. They've never had any music together. And I like that they tried to bring in the SpongeBob thing. And I thought it was cool for what they did because I didn't expect anything.
Right.
So the fact that they started it off and had it kind of line up with Sicko Mode, because a lot of people were making edits of that when Sicko Mode was starting to get popular. So it was kind of nice that they did it. But then at the same time, I get that a lot of people were like, why didn't you just go ahead and do the whole
and it's not even that I don't care if they had done the whole thing because I probably would not have sat there and tried to watch the whole thing.
Right.
But they hyped it up. Especially, they were like, oh yeah, it's going to be, part of the thing. And you're thinking, okay, yeah, you're going to get a decent chunk, of the song.
Nah.
We got the opening fanfare and then it
a nice
went into,
asteroid.
Yeah, that was weird looking. I was like, what?
It was cool up until they did the point of view version of it where you're heading towards the stadium. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Why am I the asteroid now?
Right.
But then how it exploded and there's fire coming out of the stage and Travis Scott popped up. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
For what it was worth, I guess they did okay. And then I'm sure they got a lot of views once Adam Levine took his shirt off, because who doesn't want to see Adam without a shirt? Right?
Right.
He looks
Well,
decent.
and, like, as far as Maroon 5, like, they sounded fine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't want to say that the Super Bowl halftime show is not ever exciting, but it's usually just really a medley of their most popular songs, you know, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's like, well, I've heard this before.
The only two that I can think of really that were really exciting in the last couple of years, there's Bruno and there's Beyonce.
Right.
They did really good shows. Like, from
Yeah.
performance to the actual music, it was really good. This one kind of just felt like we needed somebody, because all the big names we wanted were like,
Right.
no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So it was
Not
kind
that,
of weird.
yeah, not that Maroon 5 is bad, but
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
It was just,
Not
it
that
kind of felt
exciting.
like a panic button halftime
Yeah,
show.
okay.
Like, oh, Maroon 5, please. And they were like, yeah, sure. And they're like, Travis Scott, are you okay to do at least one song? Big boy, can you just pull up in a Cadillac with a fur coat, please?
yeah,
So it was kind of weird. That's all for football, though.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think
congrats.
everyone kind of felt the same way about it, just kind of like,
Yeah.
okay,
I feel like even if you're a Patriots fan, you had to kind of feel like, yeah, that's it.
right,
That's-
yeah,
Like, yeah, we won, but this doesn't feel right. Like,
right, yeah,
it was awful.
yeah.
Awful.
Oh well,
There's always next year.
there's always Super Bowl 54.
Keep on
Weird,
going.
weird, funny side note. It has nothing to do with it, but my dad's age is always the same as the number Super Bowl.
Oh,
So
nice.
if I ever like lose track of it, I just remember, oh yeah, my dad's 53. Okay, so yeah, Super Bowl 53. I don't know. It's
That's kinda cool.
Kind of random.
I was alive since the first Super Bowl, son. I was there. And in your grandmother's stomach, I was there.
So let's talk about what everybody enjoys about the Super Bowl, and that is the commercials.
Yeah, that's always the best part.
Yes.
Especially when you have a really awful game. So
Yeah. Right. You're looking for it. You're like, oh.
at least the commercials might be good, because the game sure isn't.
Well, so I think they had some good ones, and they had a couple ones that were a little okay. You know, like
Yeah.
just not bad. Like there weren't really any bad ones. It was just kind of like, okay. You know, you sat there and just like, okay.
What's the first one that comes to mind when you think that?
The Burger King one.
Absolutely.
With Andy Warhol.
Absolutely. You're just sitting
Well,
there
it
like,
was weird because when I first, when I first saw it, I thought it was a look-alike. Like I didn't think it was actually Andy Warhol. I thought it was just someone that, you know, they dressed up to look like him. And then, of course, doing research for this episode, I found out it was like actually footage from the 60s that they shot just randomly. I read that they gave him an option of a Burger King burger or two like non-labeled ones. And he was like, I don't want the non-labeled ones. He didn't even want the Burger King one. He wanted
Right.
McDonald's. This is what I read. Is he was asking like, "Where's the McDonald's?" But yeah, but it was weird because it was just that clip, and then at the end it just said hashtag eat like Andy. Which who wants to
Yeah.
wants to hashtag that on Twitter?
was- First of all, right, random hashtag
Yeah.
usage. And second of all, he sits there, grabs a burger, opens said burger, grabs the ketchup, pours the ketchup on the side, closes the burger, then dips it. So you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then he starts eating it, and then the commercial's just like, eat like Andy. See ya. Like, okay.
I want to know.
I don't know what I just watched.
Right. I want to know how many people have actually used that hashtag. Like if there's any like hardcore Burger King fans out there,
Yeah.
who are like, yeah, eat like Andy.
We're gonna take
Yeah,
a
let's-
quick look
yeah,
to
we'll
Twitter.
see.
Let's see what we got here.
How quick?
Yeah. There's just like things referring to like
How weird the commercial.
referring
Nothing
to how weird
actually
it was,
like.
or what the point was.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Yeah. So nobody's like, oh yeah, eat like Andy.
Right, yeah. It's all just like.
Somebody said it couldn't have been
What?
worth the price to air. I know retro is in,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that great of a commercial to begin with.
Say,
So
I want to know how much money they spent.
people weren't
Yeah.
big fans of it. Just like we aren't big fans of it.
Right.
So looking at some of the better ones,
Mm-hmm.
I think the NFL 100 one was really
Oh
funny.
yes,
That
I
was a
think
really
that
good
was
one.
the best one. I think everyone liked that one
Absolutely.
the best.
I don't think anybody was like, "Oh, what's that commercial?" And the Alexa one was pretty funny too.
Yeah, that one was.
Oh, we've tried a lot of things. Like the dog collar one just cracked me up. Dog runs away.
I wish they had gotten a few more celebrities though.
Yeah.
Because it was only just Forrest Whitaker and Harrison Ford. It's just kind of like, okay, like two random.
Yeah. Because I remember, was that last year's Super Bowl? Was that the one where they had
where she
Cardi
lost her
B?
voice? Yeah,
Yeah.
And it was like a bunch of different celebrities.
Yeah.
I
They had so
think-
many celebrities in that one.
I think that one was better than this one. I think they were trying to like outdo themselves from last year,
Yeah.
but
I would
It was
say at
still
least
funny,
it's
though.
close. It's on par as far as it's still a decent commercial. You
Yeah.
know? So kudos to Amazon for at least knowing how to be consistent.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the Amazon and the NFL 100 the most. Those were my favorite.
The one I was really excited about, and I kind of had an idea because I had read about it before, like of what the commercial was, not the actual commercial, but the Twilight Zone teaser
Right.
I'm really excited for it. I love the Twilight Zone, and they've done a couple of different reboots throughout the years. Actually, there was one with I think it was Forrest Whitaker. They had one, and so I think this is like the third reboot maybe, but it just looks really, like, you can tell, and especially somebody like Jordan Peele attached to it, it's going to be really good.
It's kind of funny that that's his thing. Like, you used to just kind of look at him as a comedian.
Right.
With Key and Peele, you thought he was really funny, but then he drops Get Out, and then you see the trailer for his newer movie coming out called
That
Us,
looks really good too.
and you're like, man, this guy's actually kind of good at the creepy, like, funky vibe. So it's cool to see him attached to Twilight Zone. I'll definitely check it out. I'm a fan of Twilight Zone. I'm a fan of him. So I'm definitely gonna look
I
at
think
it.
he's going to have a lot of fun with this because that's right up his alley. Just the bizarre kind of storylines. The other commercial, I mean, I know it was a campaign and all that, but the Bud Light one with the Game of Thrones, I mean, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's
I think Bud Light had been making really good commercials with the whole dilly dilly and
Right,
the
yeah.
night and everything, but to kind of take everything you've had and then just randomly like kind of scrap it, and then the Game of Thrones dragon comes
right.
in.
It's basically an
What was this
advertisement
for?
for
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
They're like, oh, it's Bud Light. Wait, why did the night get beat?
Right.
He's supposed to be like, the champion of this advertisement.
Yeah.
All for a dragon to come out of nowhere. There's no actual reason for the jousting.
Right.
There's no purpose behind the guy beating him or who he is. It's like, oh, he beat him. What? Oh, wait, now there's a dragon. We're all dying. What's going
Right,
on?
yeah.
And then Game of Thrones coming back. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
As if people didn't already know.
Yeah. the people that care and watch it already knew.
Right, yeah.
And the people that don't were probably watching like, okay. Just like we were.
They could have
Like,
done something different,
Yeah.
but whatever. I'm not in charge.
I don't know. I feel like you could have found other ways, because the Bud Light commercial does have that medieval, setting to it. You could have found other ways to try to find a connector for it. But the way they did it, I think, was just kind of the weirdest way possible to do it.
Yeah.
And then there was the Bumble ad, pretty cool, depending on how you look at it.
Yes.
That call to feminism. And then the elevator commercial. That was pretty good.
That was a good one. I think Jason Bateman's a perfect like fit for that, especially if you have seen him on Arrested Development. That's kind of, I don't know, like his demeanor is the same. And it was just a good concept overall, with going down.
My favorite floor was the jury duty. He's like, remember, innocent until proven. Well, he did it,
Yeah,
right?
he did.
We all agree that he did it. So I think that was my favorite floor.
What
when
was
he tells the
the-
guy,
the-
get back in here, colonoscopy.
Yeah,
whatever.
or Captain Colin.
Yeah, Captain Colin.
What, the vegan dinner party with the, what was it called?
Beatloaf. And the wife's like, yay. And the husband's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was pretty good.
That was one of the first ones that when I was watching the Super Bowl, that was one of the first ones I'm like, oh, that was really good. So.
Oh, and how can we forget the Endgame teaser? That was nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's nice to throw that in there, of course. I think
Yeah.
teasers and trailers are always like, they're bad and good. You get
Yeah.
excited, but at the same time, you're always afraid they'll reveal too much. But when they're too short, you're like, oh, I need more.
Right.
So it was kind of nice to get a little hype factor dropped in there.
I didn't see too many like movie trailers though. Other than like the Twilight Zone reboot and Endgame. I didn't
And
really
they
see very
did
many.
Captain Marvel.
They
I think
did do
was
that
it.
one. Yeah.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
At least that I can remember. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think pretty good year for commercials. Not
Yeah.
too bad, especially when you had a bad Super Bowl. Like, you remember a couple years ago, this was probably 2 or 3 years ago, there were some bad commercials and a lot of weird ones about, like, drugs and, like, suicide and stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine those commercials with this Super Bowl. It would have been the worst.
And
Like,
there really wasn't too many, like, political ones either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they'll have, you know, like, the really, like I said,
Call to
political.
action,
Right, yeah,
political,
those.
yeah.
There really wasn't, I mean, other than the feminism one, which wasn't that bad, they were, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good year.
it was pretty mostly just entertaining stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, that's what you need,
Yeah.
especially when the game, for a lot of people, is looked at as boring.
Right.
So, GG to the companies that made Super Bowl commercials. Keep it up. And if you had a bad one, do better next year. Burger King, don't do an ad at all. Drop out. McDonald's, get Andy on the line.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the episode. I just want to take a quick moment to tell you about a special offer from Audible. They are going to be offering you a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service and see what they have to offer you. So if you're looking for a recommendation, I really enjoy like classic literature, you know, kind of the Jane Austen, F. Scott Fitzgerald kind of books. And another one of my favorites is by Harper Lee, and it's called To Kill a Mockingbird. Maybe you've heard of it, I don't know. And the Audible audiobook is read by Sissy Spacek. So it's really, really good. I know you're going to enjoy it. So to download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/non-experts-podcast. Again, that's audibletrial.com/non-experts-podcast for your free audiobook. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the biggest bomb of the week.
The bomb.
The biggest bomb. Do we have a bomb sound effect?
Ooh, let's add one. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Biggest bomb of the week. 21 Savage. I'm sure by now you've heard about it. Apparently detained by ICE agents because he's not actually an American citizen.
Ain't that crazy?
Crazy, especially because if you are a fan of him, listen to his music, anything, have ever even seen an interview of him, you'd never even have the slightest feeling that he wasn't genuinely from here and has been here his whole life. Apparently he's been here since he was a child, or at least younger. But yeah, so apparently not a real resident of the United States, and he's overstayed his visa. But my thing is, first of all, I think I had a hard time believing that was true. And then second of all, it's been expired for quite some time. This is a public figure, makes music, goes to different things, has concerts, has been in the public eye for some time. Why is he just now?
Yeah, that's a little...
You know? And then he's had like arrests and things like that and felonies.
Yeah.
So how did you not... If this is genuine, because I still have a hard time believing this is really the case. If this is genuine, how did you not catch him at any of those points when, you know, we have you detained and have your name and have access to your records? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, first and foremost, free 21 Savage. Second of all, the internet had quite a kick out of this. Aside from the fact that it's not funny that somebody has been detained. They were just thinking of all the funny things of him being from the UK, actually. So you remember the thing from about a year or two ago, Man's Not Hot? And
Yeah.
The guy, so they took the lyrics from that and put it over a video of 21 Savage rapping. And then somebody made a voiceover and they did everything in an English accent. We're talking about tea and crumpets with him talking.
That's funny.
Had pictures from different like old wars and like French battles and saying this is what he meant when 21 Savage said he had shooters. So it was like a whole bunch of ridiculous things. Or when 21 Savage says he drinks lean, this is what he meant. And it's like a cup of tea. So there were a lot of funny memes. We all, you know, got a good kick out of them. Like I said, not really thinking about the seriousness of the situation, just thinking, man, this is kind of funny. This really like thuggish appearance and all of that. And this guy's not even from America.
Right.
So Demi Lovato, that poor unfortunate soul
I know. I
that
feel
is
bad
Demi.
for her.
She just, man, people can't wait to get at her.
She cannot catch a break.
She mentioned on Twitter that the 21 Savage memes were more, you know, entertaining than the actual Super Bowl, which we were just talking about how boring the Super Bowl was. So many people felt that way. And apparently Twitter wasn't a fan of her saying that. because on Twitter, you have a lot of people that take things way too serious. There's a fun part of Twitter, which is more so how Twitter used to be. Really fun. Nobody takes anything serious. There's really no like filters. You can pretty much say whatever.
Right.
And then you have like extra woke, serious
like
Twitter.
social justice warrior people.
From all sides. In this case, it was Black Twitter a lot. It was like, this isn't funny, blah, 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 blah. And so people just started going at her, like calling her a crackhead and you're a coke addict and all of these things because she was enjoying the memes. She's not saying that this is a funny situation. She's not laughing at him being detained. She was just laughing at the memes just like we all are. So there was all types of memes, you know, the ones that are like me, nothing, and then, you know. So it was like us laughing at 21 Savage memes. Demi Lovato, LOL. Us. That's not funny. So it was like, why are you guys so mad that she's laughing? So needless to say, after getting, you know, blasted by people on Twitter about being a drug addict and a cokehead and all of those type of things, she deactivated her Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her. I would have.
I would have
been like, okay, bye.
I feel bad for it because, okay, as messed up as it is kind of funny that that's people's like immediate reaction. Like, oh, okay, you want to talk about that? Well, you were on crack. Like, it's like, whoa, just relax. Right. It's kind of funny, but man, that's messed up that was your first thought. But I feel bad for her because there's nothing really that you did wrong here to warrant this. You were just doing what everybody else literally was doing, laughing at memes.
Especially like after she said that, like I'm going to rehab and like fixing myself, and people just want to bring up old stuff.
They won't let it go. So, first of all, note to self. Never do drugs because if people find out about it, they will never let you live it down.
That's the only reason. That's the biggest reason, other than your health and
family. Don't worry about that. It's reputation more than anything. But no, seriously. So it was kind of sad because originally she's like, if you're gonna come at me, you got to do better than that. Well, apparently no, they don't because they kept coming and you decided, you know what, I can't take this. She was like, this is why I don't like social media. Blah blah blah, and she ended up deactivating her Twitter. So. Let's get a sad violin thrown in there for Demi Lovato. It's unfortunate. Look forward to seeing you back on Twitter soon. And next time, just don't laugh at anything because apparently you're not allowed to. If we're laughing, don't you dare laugh with us. Yeah. That's messed up. Twitter, chill out. Not everything's that serious. And then also, again, pour out some tea for 21 Savage. Let's get him home soon. Back to Atlanta, not home as in wherever he's allegedly from. This has been a whole mess. This will be in the history books for the children in the future. It doesn't add up. It's not real. Fake news.
All right, so Romero, who, if any, who was your favorite, either Kardashian or Jenner child?
Hate them all. No.
I mean, yes.
I always thought Courtney was pretty funny. Like when I'd watch the show occasionally, because it'd be on, I'm like, okay, what's the hype about? Right. And I think she's pretty funny. Like she seems to be the most normal. Like, you know, she'll tell Kim like, people are dying, and you're crying over some earrings you lost. You know, like that cracks me up. So she's probably my favorite, and I'll tolerate Kylie because she's with Travis Scott. So, you know, she gets a toleration pass. Right. I used to hate her.
I still kind of do. I don't know. Sometimes every time I see her, like she's not specific at all. Like, you know, you'll ask her like, you know, oh, what are your plans for the new year? She'll be like, I don't know, you know, things and stuff and
other stuff.
You know, like me and my friends, like we're just kind of realizing things. Like, shut up. Like, what are you talking about?
Just answer the question.
That is the most vague answer ever. Anyway, so we're not talking about either of them, unfortunately. We are talking about Kendall, though. She's kind of the one that's kind of hanging back, not really doing much. However, as any celebrity will remind you that they're just like us. They are just like the normal people. And in that way, Kendall Jenner also struggles with acne. Isn't that a shock?
What?
Somebody as famous as her struggles with acne.
You mean to tell me that you, a normal human being, are susceptible to oily skin and acne and blemishes? Are you kidding me?
It's like we're the same person.
I thought you were a millionaire. The Pepsi didn't help. Why You have blemishes? That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's groundbreaking. And,
Wow.
And you know, anyway, yeah. All jokes aside, Kendall Jenner struggles with acne. She is also the highest paid supermodel in the world, which I find hard to believe, but whatever. It was revealed in the March 2019 edition of Allure that she cried after receiving criticism about her pimples at the 2018 Golden Globe Awards.
Oh, not the pimples.
Cried over what people said about her.
I'm sorry. Can we just take 2 seconds here? Just 2 seconds. Just hold on.
But that's exactly what it is. That's what.
You're gonna cry?
Really?
Put your big boy pants on.
Well, and that's
You're a
fine.
millionaire.
You don't know any of these. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know any of these people. If I see like a hate comment or something from somebody I don't know, it's like, okay, cool. Like,
You should be able to brush them off the same
Right.
way you brush off
Who
people like
cares?
on social media,
that's
unless
what-
they're
and
calling you a
I'm
crackhead.
sure people say much worse. Like, no, this is not about Demi.
Sorry.
But yeah, I'm sure people say much worse, like on Instagram or like that kind of stuff. But then when people criticize her about her pimples,
Yeah.
something that everybody has,
Something that's literally normal.
and
as can be.
everyone struggles with, and everyone makes fun of everybody else for.
But I think that's what happens when you don't get to live a normal life. You don't get to be a normal teenage person. Because if you were a normal person living a normal teenage life, you would have gotten made fun of for pimples. Like if you had
Right.
acne, people would point it out, or your best friends would be like, "Oh, geez, you got a huge zit on your face," and you'd just be able to like, "Oh, whatever, screw you. I'm trying to wait until it
I'm
goes
trying
away.
to
I don't want to
hide."
pop it." Yeah, but like for you to be so soft and insecure about acne, something millions of people deal with, and some people have it bad, like pizza face,
Yeah.
always red, always a ton of zits all over the place. You probably had like a pimple.
Yeah.
Relax. Like, there's nothing to cry about. Of all the things you could be crying about, I think she needs to talk to her sister Courtney so she could say, "There's people dying out there,
Yeah.
and you're crying about a pimple."
You're crying.
You need perspective, sweetheart. It's acne. Relax.
Well, the other thing about this is that she was recently a spokesperson for Proactive, or she recently became the new spokesperson for Proactive, and she claims that that's what helps keep her acne under control. So either she's not using enough of it, or it doesn't really work.
No.
I had problems with acne, especially in high school. I never could afford Proactive because it was like expensive stuff. I mean, and I didn't know if it worked. I mean, the commercials say it does, but
Right.
a lot of commercials say the things
They say
do
a lot
that
of
they don't
things.
do. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of random and just another reason to be like, "Are you serious?"
How stupid.
Right? Like,
of
come
you.
on.
Are you dense? No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, like, relax.
Yeah.
Bigger picture, is it that
Relax. Yeah.
serious? Like, oh, you called out my pimple. Oh my
I
god.
say you are
I'm gonna cry.
the highest paid model in the world.
Clearly, they're not worried about your acne.
Right.
so-
You have money. Calm down.
Your sister bought a whole new body. I'm sure you can buy some skincare. Like,
You could probably buy
most
a
of
whole
your
new
sisters
skin.
bought whole new bodies.
Yeah.
You could buy a new face if you
Yeah.
wanted to. You'll be fine. You have plenty of compensation that'll cover up anything going on with your acne.
Right.
Take a chill pill, bro. It's just acne. Now it's time for the best, the very best of news you can't use from the good people in the Sunshine State. Good old Florida. What's going on this week? Who did something weird?
Well, I like to preface this by saying that I think I hit a gold mine, as I didn't realize that Reddit had a subreddit dedicated to Florida weird stories. They call it Florida Man,
Nice.
because it's always those stories. A Florida man, broke into whatever. So I was browsing through there, just trying to find some of the most bizarre things, and maybe this isn't the most bizarre, but it made me laugh the most when I read the headline.
Okay.
So I'll read the headline for you. It says, Florida woman arrested for beating boyfriend with a frozen pork chop.
Did she name it kindness though? Is that was she gonna beat him with
Right.
kindness?
Beat him with kindness. All right, so
Wow.
the story goes, a bizarre altercation between a Florida couple ended with a woman throwing a piece of meat at her boyfriend. Jennifer Brazzard, 48, of Brooksville, was arrested on battery charges after she beat her boyfriend with a frozen pork chop. According to the arrest report, Brazzard and her boyfriend were engaged in a verbal argument on Friday when she threw the pork chop at the unidentified man. And there's a Florida newspaper, but they report that the man suffered a half-inch cut from the pork chop. The boyfriend fled the house after the pork chop flew, and the police determined that Brazzard was the primary aggressor in the disturbance. She was booked on a misdemeanor domestic battery charge and released on $250 bond.
Okay, first of all, I wonder what you had to have done for her immediate thought to be, not only am I going to beat him, I'm not going to use like a frying pan. I'm not going to use like a broomstick or a belt or my actual hands. I'm going to take that frozen pork chop down. Yep, that one I've been saving. I'm going to take that out of the freezer. I'm going to beat you with it. I'm going to take this frozen piece of meat. This sounds like the most fabricated, ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I'm going to beat you with it. And this isn't really to be laughed at because a half-inch cut, I know that hurt.
Yeah.
And you ever like drop something frozen out of the freezer and heard like how hard it hits the ground? Imagine getting hit over and over with that.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He'll
Yeah.
never look at a pork chop dinner the same. He'll be like,
He
PTSD
gets
every
triggered,
time.
yeah.
Did someone say pork chop?
So
Please
the
tell me they're
specials
cooked.
today are the fried asparagus and the pork chop.
Pork chop. We gotta go. We gotta go. I
gotta
don't want to
go.
eat
We
here. I
gotta
don't
get
want to
out
eat here. Yeah, that's wow. So fellas, if you're at home, make sure there's no pork chops in the freezer. Ladies, if you're at home, don't get any ideas. Don't beat anybody with the pork chop.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And
Well,
do you really
that's-
want to explain that to your family?
How'd you get the cut? Pork chop.
I gotta smack
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how is that so like readily available for her to be? Like, were they cooking that like before the argument? Like, were they about to make them, or did she just open the freezer, find the first thing she could
I need
find?
context because why did that? Why, like I said, why is that the first thing that came to your mind?
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna go get that pork chop. Oh, okay.
She
You want to mess
already
with
had
me?
it in her mind.
I'm putting this up there. This is my fail safe. Next time he gets on my nerves, I'm taking that pork chop down and I'm going to beat him. And that was the day.
like-
She's just been saving this, and every day he's like, "Honey, what's this pork chop for? I'm hungry." No, not that pork chop. I'm saving that.
Not that one.
I'm saving
Not
that
the
one.
marked one. It's like, you know, most people have like a gun like in their bedside drawer.
Right.
Like she has a pork chop.
I got a pork chop waiting on you. It's freeze dried.
There's an intruder.
Oh no, a robbery.
Uh,
Don't worry, I'll go get my pork chop. What?
I'll give him a fish cut on his face. Oh man, that's
Yeah,
funny.
that's a little ridiculous. I can't believe that this is something that people are doing.
Also, a 48-year-old, like, you should know better.
Yeah,
You should know better. Pork
it's
chop.
Florida. What can I say? It's Florida. The mines they don't grow the same way. I don't know if it's the oranges, it's the water. I don't know. Stay away from that place. Stay away.
All right, so
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Sorry about that.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. You know, occasionally my inner monologue is Adele. So
Yeah.
Just pretend it didn't happen.
Oh, I'm jealous. Anyway, so last week had a little bit of a break. So we kind of, we showed our last episode, which I thought was really fun and interesting.
Absolutely.
So we had a break from a deep, thought-provoking question, but it is my turn this week, so I shall bestow upon you some really deep, thought-provoking questions,
Drop
or
it.
just one. So,
I'm ready.
all right, and it's not too personal,
Okay.
if at all, and it's something that is you can probably think of really easily. So, the question is, what are 3 occupations that machines will soon replace?
Machines have already slowly begun to. Machines will replace telemarketers. Machines will replace customer service representatives.
Mm-hmm.
And machines will replace Ooh. I guess assembly line things are already happening. I can't use that one. Ooh, what is the third one? I think just a lot of communications-based things where it's like walking through something or, instructional. I think that's where machines will start to replace us because, as I'm sure you notice, being a communications guy, you're looking for jobs. You type in communications, everybody is talking about, oh, here's a call center.
Right.
I don't want to do that. And most people are like, no, I'm not doing that. So I think having a robot that you can just program to give certain responses, they'll start to do that. Because even like when you pay your phone bill or something, they'll be like, press 3.
Well, and that's almost even already a thing. I know Google, they showcase something where like you could have the robot in your phone schedule a haircut for you, but it actually sound like a real person. Like they're like, I'm calling on behalf of so-and-so, and, they want this. And then they'll respond to questions, from the other end. And I'm like, that is... Well, number one, I think it's lazy.
Why can't you call?
But number two, that, if you think about it, and the way how natural the voice of the robot sounds, how scary that's going to be in the future. You're not going to know if you're talking to a real person or a robot on the phone.
Absolutely. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's terrifying. The first thing I thought of was when I read this question is machines will replace like drivers, like in cars.
I didn't even think about that one. Yeah,
buses and trains and cable cars and all that stuff. Me neither. That's
awful.
Dangerous.
That sounds.
They've already
awful.
had like a bunch of well, not a bunch, but like 1 or 2 accidents from like a self-driving car not performing correctly. But that was the first thing I thought of. I'm like,
no thanks. I think also maybe oh, I just lost it. What is something else that can easily be replaced?
My heart. My soul.
I think they'll start finding ways to probably like cleaning.
Yeah.
Because they got those little robo vacuum
Roombas,
things. I think they'll start finding other things that can take place of that.
There's already like, especially in like Japan, I've seen like little robots that will like in hotels that will like bring you like water or like towels and stuff like that.
Some servant robots.
Yeah.
I think slightly inappropriate. It wouldn't surprise me if robots start to take place of like prostitutes. There are some people that are totally okay and into artificial people doing the things they need them to do.
Right.
And they keep finding ways to make these things more realistic and functional for different things. So without getting too deep into it, I think there will be ways to have robots replace the need of, I need to call this person. And just here's the robot.
It's a crazy world that we're
strange
living in and about to step into.
All around me are familiar faces.
All around me.
Yeah, no. So I think it's all a bigger part of the end of mankind. We're all going to die, all right? Because the self-driving cars are one day going to start driving themselves into ditches on purpose, and then the little vacuums are going to start sucking people up, and the automated phone systems are going to track you and drop an orbital strike. No,
matter of fact, next week we won't even actually be on the podcast. It's just going to be 2 robots that sound like us.
Absolutely.
Because we're way too busy to actually be here in person. So
yeah, we're going to have our automated systems step in and handle it. Well, hello, Will. Hello, Chris. It'll sound enough like us, right? Maybe.
Have you heard about that crazy new food?
Yeah, it's that's a kind of a scary thought, even though that some of the stuff, like, I don't even like the idea of getting on public transit and a robot is in charge, or not even necessarily anybody sitting there, but it's like automated. No, I don't like that.
That's crazy.
I prefer my drivers to be fleshly. You can see them, you can feel them, hear them. It's a real person, and they have real eyes.
They can verbally abuse you as you walk on the bus.
They can uppercut you if you're unruly. Yeah, I don't even like the idea of any type of robot, automated. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, maybe that was a little too depressing to end on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. No.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's interesting. Let your mind wander now. Go home and come up with a list of 3. Let us know on Twitter at NotExpertsPod or on Instagram at NonExpertsPodcast. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, please do.
Or text us.
We really...
if you got my number.
Or, just shoot us a text. No, for real. I really hope that people can actually be engaged and, start talking to us because we've grown a little bit. In the last 2 weeks, I've noticed, there's more followers, there's lots of stuff, people actually responding to my Instagram stories and that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited about it. Also, don't forget to leave a review, and let us know how you feel about the podcast. Because, I have people tell me all the time, they're like, oh, I really love it. I'm like, well, can you leave a review?
Can you do that electronically?
Right. I know, in person, please just, so.
Electronically,
yeah,
give me your praise.
If you guys enjoy it, please leave a review. Let us know how you feel about it. So.
Thank you. Come again.